Welcome back to another seal coating process video. Thank you everybody for subscribing, liking, watching our videos. The channel growth has just been awesome and I look forward to creating more content for you. But anyway, today we are in for a treat because it's a nice big driveway project we did. It's got cleaning, it's got crack filling, and of course, seal coating. You know, we get the first person point of view like this, we get the third person, but this time I brought out the drone. So we get some like top-down context of the size of the project, where the project is, and it just offers some really cool views of the work being done. Anyway, let's get into it.
Today we are doing a big driveway. This thing is about 18,000 square feet. Heads all the way down there, just straight as an arrow. It was paved about 18 years ago, so as you can see, it's actually pretty rough, but the boys are cleaning it right now. Let's go take a look.
So this is our JBC with just this big rotating moss head on it. You can see just in that shot right there how clean one side of it gets. So here the boys are just cleaning, and then of course we got to take a break to laugh a little bit, crack some jokes. You want to have fun out on the job. I mean, we try to work like 95% of the time, and then 5% of the time we cruise and have some fun and make some jokes. So this is a drone angle of pretty much the whole driveway. And this is sped up. I mean, you can see this is a humongous driveway. 18,000 square feet. There the boys are cleaning.
So on most projects, we typically at some point come together as a team after all the debris has been kind of taken off the road, and we work from one side of the property to the other. So as you can see right here, this side of the property is clean and ready for sealing, ready for crack fill. Cracks have been cleaned up, and then up here you have the boys kind of working together, moving this way, kind of side by side, just blowing. So everything left behind is essentially ready and prepped for seal.
So when we show up to a site to clean, you can see right here, so KP is scrubbing these edges, and they don't look that dirty, but as soon as you scrub them, this dirt comes up and like the asphalt turns brown with all the dirt that was just brought up using that wire broom. Then you have someone come along with like a ground blower or a backpack blower and blow everything off into the, see like this, look it looks black, and then as soon as you start scrubbing it's just dirt just comes right out of it. So the main thing we do when we show up is get all the big pieces. You have like the JVC, or you even bring a sweeper truck on and just pick up all the big things throughout, and then you kind of come through and do your detail clean. So this is mostly getting the edges clean. Oh, and this is a cool little time lapse. So this driveway has this one little, I guess, sub driveway and kind of parking pad of this house, and this is the only one of those that we're actually doing in addition to the driveway. So you have the straightaway, and then you have that little like bulbous sub driveway that we're gonna do. This is what we call a moss buster. It's just got this rotating head on it with those metal bristles, and just gets up the moss pretty good. It actually gets up the moss really good in my opinion. You stand over an area and you're gonna loosen all that up at the very least. You can probably come through with a wire broom and get it off. So this is all our vehicles parked here. You have the tanker, you've got the crack pot, you've got the buggy. Oh no, there's the crack pot, and that's my car. And then you see this is the driveway off to the left. So we park all out on this main road and kind of put cones out. And now once you clean everything, you do your full detail clean, you bring in the crack pot. So this is just like molten rubber in there to seal the cracks. So this is the only crack filling that we're going to be doing. The main driveway itself, we were not contracted to crack fill. We gave them a number, we said, hey, hello customer, thank you for reaching out to us for a bid. Here's what it would cost for us to come out and crack fill the main drive. And then another quote for, hey, here's how much it would cost to just fill the parking pad or the sub driveway. And then, hey, this is how much it would cost for all of them together. And this particular customer, this wasn't my project, but this customer just wanted the driveway, this sub driveway crack filled. They didn't want the main one filled, which you'll see later that the main one is actually holding up pretty good. This is like the roughest area. You can see all these cracks. You see like big old holes there. So we spent quite a bit of time. Look at, he's filling that hole, just putting a ton of rubber down in there. So he's got a little trigger in his left hand that brings out the rubber, and it's just flowing. But so like I'll even, I don't know if I get down here, but if it's sitting there, if it's like a deep, thick crack where there's a lot of material in there, you can look down in and it's just bubbling, literally molten, like boiling rubber. And when it is that consistency, when it's a perfect consistency like that, it's able to get into the cracks, but then it's also thick enough that it's not going to flow. It's going to it's going to flow a little bit, and then it's just going to harden up. The whole point being actually sealing out water from, sealing out water from the pavement, which then in the winter when you go through like freeze thaw cycles where it's like expanding, contracting, it doesn't, if you don't seal it, like look at that. If you don't seal that, it's going to freeze thaw, and it's just going to get huge very quickly, and then that whole chunk will probably be gone. Although that whole area actually looks pretty rough. Yeah, you can see all that. So a lot of that asphalt is already gone. Like we can try to help it out, but a lot of it is just not gonna, it's gone. It's cracked. It's past its prime of life and kind of on the downslope. So we can do what we can to help seal it out, seal the water out, but and other things, oils and pine needles, and you're sealing kind of it off from all of the elements. But I guess I'll just let this go, and you kind of, it's just so satisfying to watch. So yeah, that's just a big alligator area. So once I said that whole area is gone, so it's not worth filling all of it. And then this stuff is kind of like sloughing off the edge. I could just watch this for hours. So satisfying. So yeah, this is one of our crew members who's wearing the GoPro, and so he's literally seeing, if you were a crack filler or a seal coat team member, this is one of the things that you would be doing. Here you can actually kind of see the trigger or the handle of where he's holding it, and then you can see here it was actually crack filled in the past. You see that old crack fill there, and all along this line, so it has failed. So you can see where it's crack filled, that crack fill, right there looked pretty good, and then right here it's failed. So you just go over it to reseal it. And then here is just a drone angle of what that looks like when that lot has been completely crack filled. So it's just this like neural network of crack fill and rubber, and pretty cool. So while they were crack filling, Jose and KP, they were over here, they had started seal coating. So we have like kind of two teams going at once, and that's just how they decided to do it. But we were at the very end, they had to refill, or maybe this was before they started, but they're filling up using this giant tanker to run it over to the buggy. So the tanker is like the home base, the hub, has all the material, a ton of material that can essentially last all day of work, probably a few days of work, depending on what the jobs are. If it's a big job, maybe not, but then they decant a lot of that material into the buggy, and then the buggy is more mobile, and it can get in and out of tighter places, and then this is actually how you put the material down typically. And here they're just mixing it, agitating it. We have a material that we put in called HD, which is heavy duty. It's like more aggregate, and it makes it a little bit thicker. It makes it last longer. So after they had crack filled, I came over to meet up with Jose and KP. You can see they already seal coated quite a bit, but I got to film this process, which I really realized is, it's a two-man dance. They both work really well together as a team. And so what Jose does is he takes the spray tip off of the wand and just lays down a bunch of material on the edge. See, he'll go on this edge, and then you can see KP's coming out. So KP's now walking, pulling or pushing the material where it just slightly goes over the edge, because you do want it to seal. You do want that seal coat to cover all of the pavement. Even if it's on the side, it still needs to be protected from UV and oils and water and everything like that. So you just kind of pull this material, he's brooming it on, spreading it out, and cutting in. So this is, while it is important to cover, this also is efficient. So after you cut in all the way where you have this kind of 2-foot stripe, then Jose can come along and with the spray tip on the wand can then spray without worrying about getting too close to the edge and maybe like spraying plants or driveways or what have you. You can be a little bit less careful when you're just out in the field where no one cares, but you can see along here, right along that concrete, super important to not get overspray onto that concrete. That's why we cut in. So that's why you have the little, you broom it onto the side, so then you can come along and be far enough away from plants and fences and concrete driveways and stuff that you don't get overspray. So yeah, this is just a drone down top, and this is they're probably a quarter done with the driveway at this point. No, maybe not a quarter, probably like a fifth or a sixth done. And you can see they did it again. So they cut in, and then Jose just comes along and wands it. And right now, I don't think he's wearing a GoPro. Yeah, he's not wearing a GoPro. We'll get a first-person point of view of kind of what he's doing. But you can see his right hand is on a handle that controls the flow of the material, which right now is just on full. And then his left hand is controlling kind of the direction and the rotation of the head, or just the rotation of the wand. Because sometimes you want to like turn it inward or outward, and oh, here it looks like we're doing a big zoom out. We're probably a quarter done with the driveway at this point. So here they're doing the dance again. They move the buggy all the way up. Jose's putting material all along the side, and then KP is coming along and brooming the side, cutting in, and now Jose is spraying again. So now you can see this. Okay, so KP's on the buggy and he's driving away from Jose. He's trying to keep tension on that hose so it doesn't get his feet all tripped up. But you don't want so much tension that it's pulling the hose out of his hand. You just want to make sure that if he takes steps back, he's not going to get tangled up in the hose. So it's very much this, they just have to kind of trust each other and time, when he's spraying and when he's pulling the buggy. Look at this shot. Huge driveway out in the forest. I mean, it's just such a cool. Oh, and this is a great view. So you see, okay, yeah, so Jose has laid down material. Once again, it's the same dance, but you can see the length of the hose. So the buggy is pretty much at the maximum distance away from where the wand can get material down. So once Jose's laid down and KP has cut in, Jose can then put on the spray wand and start following KP, and then KP will come down this side on the bottom part of the screen, and he'll cut in there, and Jose will come following him right away. And yeah, I don't know why I guess they've done it a couple different ways, even in this video. But yeah, here we go. So you can see Jose's just standing there, but you can see the wand is kind of like quivering. See how the spray it's like shimmering and doing different angles and it's like a different pattern. Oh, here I'm putting the GoPro on Jose. Part of the problem, and you'll see this throughout, that Jose will stop spraying and like he'll spray. He'll probably stop here. Oh no, look like so that tip can get plugged with whether it's like a little dried piece of seal coat that came out of the tank or what have you. So you'll watch for that throughout the video. He'll stop and he'll take it off and like blow it or get rid of it, put his finger, try to just like clear up the nozzle. Here there's no spray nozzle on it. This is just coming straight out of the tube, and that's how we lay down material for cutting in. Kind of like angle it away from the edge, spray down. Okay, so now we're into the driveway, or getting close to the driveway. Okay, so here we got first person point of view of Jose spraying. You can see the wand. It's hard to control the spray delivery because that tip, it gets clogged with little particulates and then it looks really weird. So he does a really good job of controlling it. I could never. Oh, but you can actually see some of this crack fill in the main road. A lot of it's in really good shape, and that could be why they didn't decide to go with it, because there wasn't much to do. But this driveway certainly needed it because you saw it was super cracked and hadn't been done. So on this top-down view, you can see they put the buggy in the middle. This guy in the gray on the bottom part of the screen is laying down the material. The guy in the blue is cutting in, following him. Yep, and you just gotta be super careful along concrete. So he's just trying to cut perfectly. And then now you see some spray going down. So they've put the spray tip back on. So he's messing with it. And now, here we go. Filling it in. And the buggy is parked in the middle, so you just kind of do this whole radius around the buggy until you need to get the buggy out of there, and then the seal coaters just follow the buggy out. You always work from kind of back your way out of the whole lot. So, yeah, see? This is the dance. And then you see there's actually a guy on the hose. So the guy that's following Jose, there's two guys in yellow shirts. He's the one that's keeping the hose out of his feet. If you're really good on the buggy and you don't have a ton to do, you can get away with just a few people doing it, but sometimes there's so much is happening at the same time, cutting in and seal coating, cutting in and spraying and using the buggy and sometimes you're not able to pull the buggy away from the guy's feet because you're not going in a straight line, you're going in a circle. So that's kind of like an assistant there.
How much more over there you want me to get that? Don't push me, because I'm close to it.
So KP's alluding to the fact that we need to cover the edge, and one of our team members kept telling him, get it over the edge, and it's like, well, yeah, he is getting it over the edge. And I'm always worried, like, oh, it's going into the landscaping or whatever. That's totally fine. That stuff is just going to harden up and become this kind of like rubber hot dog. I mean, it's just, it hardens and it goes away. I mean, after those leaves drop, they do a couple rakings, and like all of that stuff that flows over the edge just disappears. Gets thrown in the garbage or whatever. But you need to make sure that if you are cutting in, you want to make sure it goes all the way over the edge, because if you don't, that part isn't sealed. So you can see right here, it's not sealed because they didn't push enough over the edge. So then you have to come back and like broom on the edge or get more material on the edge. So you really want full coverage of the entire driveway. Oh yeah, here we go. So we got someone coming along the side. I don't know if they're actually going to seal it. Oh yeah, there we go. See, someone told them that we need more material, and we covered it. So we're actually back on our way out. We're like probably 1/8 left of the driveway to do. So they've been doing the same thing, cutting in the sides as far as the hose will go. See, that's the end of the driveway right there. And then Jose starts at the very front and backs his way out. See, look at that spray. I'm always concerned that it's just going to like freak out and just go like blow a seal or something and just spray all crazy, because it looks to me like it's not easy to control, but Jose clearly does a good job of controlling it. And yep, at this point the team members are kind of all backed out. There's I think 4 on the job today, maybe 5. I'm just filming. I am a team member, but not a Seal Coat team member, because I'm not good at that stuff. Actually, I do clean occasionally, but I think that I'm not that much help. But they let me do it because, I'm trying to learn with them. Oh, see right there, it messed up. But he didn't even have to take the tip off. He just kind of shook it, and it all got good. Anyway, so once you get to the end of a driveway, especially when you have a little bit of a line that you can see between the old pavement / road and the driveway and the road, you have a little bit of a seal there. And so he takes the tip off, lays down material, and then they'll try to cut a straight line just to make it look good. You don't want to just end with like random spray. And so there you go. See, KP's trying to cut a perfect line that kind of indicates the end of the driveway where it meets the road. So it just looks really nice and clean and crisp. Yeah. And so this was the first coat, I should say. We were scheduled to do 2 coats, and we did do 2 coats, but it was kind of cloudy today, so it takes longer to dry. And so after this first coat, I took off. But the second coat goes down a lot quicker. You don't have to cut in. You just do the top, you do the majority of it, because when you broom it on like that, you get a lot of material.
Y'all see that here? Now look, that's how it look, man. That's coastal pave, huh? We pave it forward. Understand me?
Nice and squared, KP. Well done.
KP is a character, right, and yes, he calls us Coastal Pave. We're Coast Pave or Coastal Pave here in Portland, just outside of Portland. And here's the overall. You can see that it's already dried in the middle, down where we started. And the edges still are wet because there's just a lot of material there when you lay it down with the nozzle. And so that's why when you do the second coat, you mostly just do the middle. And here it's wet because this is where the seal coat went down like 5 minutes before I droned this. So you can see it's still all wet. And that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.